Good evening, Mindful Seer people. So here we are. This is day number 4 of our Eclipse series, B.E.I.S.M. So B.E.I.S.M is a system that I've created that I use to coach and guide people who are interested in enhancing their intuitive abilities. And we want to be able to do both the expansion into our spidey senses as well as stay grounded in the here and now. So I recently said to some people that it's possible to go way into the woo and still get your laundry done. And so that's how my system works. I'm helping you in both of those ways. So this is the basic outline, and this is just very basic, and you can use this as a spread, okay, for readings with cards, which is what we're going to do today. We've gone through and started with the body. That was the first day of the eclipse. The second day we did emotions, the third day intellectual life, and now we're on spirit soul. Okay, so what is spirit soul all about? Spirit soul is really looking at, what is our life purpose? What are we here for? And that changes at different points in our life. It's not always exactly the same thing. But that spirit soul part is something that sometimes gets dropped out because there's so much focus on being successful or meeting the expectations of the people around you or the people that you care about, that you lose track of what your soul's purpose actually was. Now, I feel very blessed and very fortunate because when I was around 9 years old, someone asked, what do I want to do when I grow up? And I told them that I wanted to be a psychic psychologist. And here I am all these years later, I'm 61, and that's pretty much what I do. So I'm drawing both from my professional career in human services, a degree in psychology, lots and lots of training as a professional working in human service agencies, doing counseling and many other types of roles, and integrating that with my direct perception of what I get energetically through my 4 clairs. I'm also a medium, and I have a long-term mindfulness practice. So I'm sort of integrating all that together. And the B.E.I.S.M system is an integration of a lot of different things that I sort of accumulated throughout my personal practice and interest in metaphysics, as well as my formal meditation and I'll say my life path, this time through. So, okay, the way I like to use my cards is I put 3 decks that are all by James Wanless, all created by the same person, into this bowl. I call it the baking bowl of belief. And I call it that because everything that we create and manifest, is coming out of our beliefs. And instead of being like a fortune teller, I don't see myself that way. I see myself as a future co-creator. So when I'm working with individuals or groups or doing like team building or whatever I'm doing, I'm finding my way to work with the people and the great mystery spirit to bring something, into reality that's yet to be here. All right, so these readings that I've been doing between the eclipses has been focused on what the collective can benefit from tuning into during this time. I'm going through the B.E.I.S.M 2 times. Okay, so now we're up to S for the first time through. And let's see what pops out of the baking bowl. So there's 3 different decks in here. One is based on the traditional tarot, but updated for the 21st century. That's the Voyager Tarot. Then I have the Sustain Yourself deck, which is a nature deck. And then I have the White Squirrel deck, which is, I call it the Just Do It deck. So this is what the cards from the Voyager Tarot look like. That's the back of the card. This is the way that your DNA looks. Any living creature, man, animal, human, animal, plant. This is what the DNA looks like to the naked eye. Okay, then we have the Sustain Yourself deck. Okay, this is the nature deck. So, of course, this is a leaf. These cards are all collaged. Okay, and since this is sort of a bonus card that I always like to see what randomly comes out, we're going into the investigation cave now to find out, a little more about what Spirit would like for the collective to focus on, in terms of the soul journey. All right, so I'm going to put my hands in the bowl, see what pops out, digging around. James Wanless, my Voyager Tarot mentor, says hands have eyes. Oh, this is too good. So what comes back again? The investigation cave. Okay, there is no way that could be planned or orchestrated. All right, there's a lot of cards in this bowl, and this same card came out again. Okay, so very clearly, the message here for the soul, for all of us collectively, is to investigate. Okay, what is going on at the soul level with us? All right, sometimes, we leave the things behind that really light our fire, that really make us feel alive because, we haven't been in contact with them since we were 5 or 7 or 9 years old. So sometimes, we have to strip back some of the different roles that we play in our lives, that where we've made commitments and we have obligations to fulfill, which we should do. But go back to what really, made us excited, when we were youngsters. And I know that many years ago, I was in a car coming home from school, a bunch of kids in the back seat of a car, in the front seat, lots of kids squeezed in. Back then, that's what you did. And the person driving us home said, "Hey, what do you guys want to be when you grow up?" And people said all sorts of different things. And I said, "Oh, I want to be a psychologist when I grow up." So, that's been with me a long time. The other thing that's even further back is teaching. So I used to set up all my little stuffed animals in my room, and I don't know what I thought I was going to impart at the age of 7, but I knew there was something important to me about that exchange. So I have all the little stuffed animals set up, and I'm speaking or doing, I don't know what I was doing exactly, but I remember that. I remember that it was important to me to be in that role of facilitating someone else's empowerment, helping them, learn, expand, grow. All right, so it's the investigation cave. One more time, let's take a look at that. So what is it that your soul is calling you to do? Most of us have things that we kind of want to do, but then we don't necessarily make the time space for it, when it's coming from here. And look at that light. See that light at the top of the card? Okay, so sometimes we do have to go into a darkness and look for that one little bit of light. When there's so many shiny objects and so much distraction from the world, all these different, digital devices talking to us all the time, sometimes we have to take space, to go into a more quiet and restful environment to find the true light, the light, that's going to really guide us, our North Star, if you will. That it's easier to see that North Star, when it's dark. Okay, so dark means quiet, it doesn't necessarily have to be physically dark, but, giving yourself some time, space away from your regular activities, either on a daily basis or to take a retreat, for some amount of time and put yourself someplace where you're in nature at least, so that you can more easily tune into your inner voice and to your true self and to whatever guides or ancestors that you connect with or that are looking to connect with you. I recently have been finding in readings in the last couple of years that a lot of the old mythopoetic representatives of the indigenous cultures have been wanting to speak with people. I've seen Kokopelli, I've seen Quetzalcoatl. So surely these indigenous, more indigenous representatives, from the higher energy realm are interested in helping people reconnect with that level of wisdom that is aware of the importance of harmonizing all aspects, to be connected to the earth, to be connected to the animals, to be connected to the plants, to understand how we are one ecosystem. And of course, ultimately, when somebody, does a nature deck, James Wanless, thank you, because this entire deck represents our reverence and our communion, okay, with all that is organic, all that is alive. So we thank you for that. And I think that's it for today in terms of our eclipse maximization. And so we started with B, which was for body, and that was, we got the palm tree for optimization. The second day was emotions, and we got the man and imagination. And then the third day was E, and am I going to remember that one? It's not coming to me. So it's in the video. You're going to have to watch the prior video to find out that one. And then the next time I make a video, I'll show all the cards that were coming up in these first 5 days. Then I'm going to start the cycle again for the second, and then we're going to conclude with the eclipse of the sun. Okay, peace and happy, everybody.